Good morning, you guys. It is empties time, but today is just all about Deciem Empties. It's mostly the Ordinary, I would imagine, but there are, of course, some NIOD ones in there, so I will get started. The first one is a NIOD one, and it's the low viscosity cleaning ester. You guys know I just adore this, but it's not for everybody because I would say the majority of people like to take their makeup off in the shower and bath, etc., don't they? Or with water anyway, by using something that you massage in and use a face cloth to remove. Not me. I like to use something like this where you put it on a cotton pad and, you know, wipe away your makeup. And this is the best one I've ever used for removing all makeup, but, you know, especially eye makeup that's real solid, waterproof, whatever. This just melts it away. It's just such a pleasure to use. I absolutely adore it. Next is the Ordinary SPF 30. You guys know I love this, and this is probably what I'm going to buy the most from Deciem through the summer. The only thing I don't like about it is it makes my skin, no, it doesn't make my skin dry, but it's not moisturising enough to use on its own. I need to use like an oil or a serum or something underneath it. The other thing that does slightly bother me, I'm sure there's enough in here that I can get a little bit out, is it does look slightly grey. I found it doesn't show, actually it's not showing on my hand there, but I do find it looks slightly grey, but I mean obviously that doesn't show under makeup, so it doesn't really matter, but I do really like this, and I will order it again unless I find something amazing that really moisturises my skin. Oh, I used up my Lactic Acid. There wasn't much left in this at all, to be honest, and this is one of those things that I really like the way this feels, but I just can't find a use for it. And if I do, I'm not sure where I'd fit it into my routine. I wonder if this might be a nice ingredient to use for, like, I feel like my neck, these lines are kind of genetic, but they've got worse as I age and as I've put on weight. But I've also noticed a bit of texture issues on my neck, and I feel like this might help. But I don't know if I can fit it into my routine. If I can, then I would repurchase this, because it does feel lovely. It's a lovely feeling serum. It almost feels cooling. It makes your skin feel so smooth, and it's a really nice ingredient. This is the NIOD MMHC. Why did I order this, and why is it in such a small bottle? Oh, I ordered it because it was on the Black Friday, and that was while I was away from YouTube. It was the Black Friday sale, I think you call it. I very rarely even notice that's going on, but I just happened to be on the Deciem site and noticed all these things on sale, and it was heavenly. And I do really like their hyaluronic acid, so really enjoyed that, and it did not take me long to use that at all. This is the Ordinary Alpha Lipoic Acid. It's really full. I really, really love this stuff. If I use the tiniest drop of this, my skin feels beautiful. But if I use more than the tiniest drop of this, my skin feels irritated. It's such a powerful ingredient. I've done an ingredient spotlight on alpha lipoic acid, and there was a really interesting research on this, especially for dark circles and under eye bags, I think, and even fine lines. And it's something that I wanted to try, like, around my eye area, but it's just too strong an ingredient to use there. But the study was done using, is this 5%? Yeah, this is 5%. It was using 5% around the eye area twice a day, and there was amazing results. But this recommends using this twice a week, and yet the study was using it twice a day, and there's no way my skin could tolerate using this even once a day, let alone twice a day. And so that's something that puts me off, because I'm just not sure how much I'd benefit from using this once or twice a week. Even putting it on there, like, my skin feels amazing. And the other thing is, it's just such an unstable product. The reason I've got this new bottle is my other bottle had sort of separated and just didn't fare well. You're not supposed to use it near a window. You know, it's really, really susceptible to light. And I just can never, it's been sitting in my bag, my skincare bag, and I'm never really sure where I can fit it in and how I can use it. I think it's something I should probably just add a drop or two to moisturiser, but I don't know how much, like I said, how much benefit I'd get from that, because I tend to have already used actives before and I'm never sure, well, will that go with that, you know? So it's just something I'm not using, and so I think I'm going to have to give up the ghost with alpha lipoic acid, unfortunately. This is the NIOD mud. This is another one where I'm like, you know what, I give up. I don't like it. I don't get on with it. Yeah, can't stand the smell, but that I would have continued using it if it didn't sting my skin unpleasantly so. This is something that I know a lot of people swear by, but I would put this on my skin and I almost immediately had to take it off, and I'd be sitting there going, just see if you can wait, and then I'd be like, no, I've got to get it off. you know, it wasn't one where, like, skincare shouldn't be like that, where you're like, just hold on, you know, a little bit longer. That's not right, and it really was unpleasant for me. So it's not like my skin was amazing afterwards either, because I did have that effect from the Nip Plus Fab Glycolic Fix. Well, actually I didn't. I had a red face from it, very, very warm, but not stinging, and afterwards my skin felt amazing. But with this, my skin felt nice afterwards, but nothing amazing. So that is going out, I'm afraid. This is the Ordinary Squalane. Nothing left in here, but I used most of it on Watson. Watson's my dog, because it just made his coat so soft. And every time I used it on him, I put some pumps in my hand and put it through my hair. So it was used on hair and fur. And if I wouldn't go on specifically to order this, but if I was ordering something else, I would probably pop one of these in my bag for sure. In my bag. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Because it was really good at sort of taming flyaways, but never ever like making your hair greasy or anything like that. So I did like that. This is the Squalane cleanser. That's me finished it, and I've only just done a review on it, so it's not a repurchase for me, I don't think, because it's not my favourite way to cleanse, and it just didn't last very long at all. This is an oldie, isn't it? This is the 100% L-ascorbic acid powder, and I have specifically been trying to use this up. There is a tiny bit left. Well, it's not a tiny bit. I could scrape quite a lot off the bottom. That's kind of, you know, I don't know whether it's got wet or it's kind of stuck to the bottom. I actually enjoyed playing around with this, but when I did that video, it's another one, I've done a video on different concoctions with this and how difficult it is to get the right balance. And I just thought it was too much of a, there's no way of getting it exactly right. I suppose you can find your groove, can't you, if you're not constantly changing different formulas. But for me, I've never got an exact routine that's going to stay that way for very long. I'm always trying different products. I mean, I suppose I could put it in with my SPF. That might have been something I could do. But in fact, I think I might have tried that, and it just, whatever I put it in, it made it feel sticky, and it did still sting my skin, and I never really found anything that it felt okay on or made my skin feel any better. So that is not a repurchase for me. This is the ascorbyl tetracycline palmitate in vitamin F. This is something that you won't have seen. It's another one of the things I purchased in the Black Friday sale. It's only up to there, actually. I feel like this is different. I bought this, I used to buy this way back. I haven't bought it for a long time, and I think I bought about 3 bottles before, and I feel like it used to, that's not very good, is it? Just splashed it all over myself. I feel like it's more like Squalane now, and I don't like Squalane. It's more like a dry oil, and I feel like it used to be more oily. So I don't know if they've changed the formula and I missed them saying it, or maybe they didn't say it, but it feels different, and I used to really enjoy it. It's basically a vitamin C derivative, and I used to really enjoy it, but it feels completely different now. Like I said, it feels to me more like Squalane, and so I've only used half of that bottle, and I'm not going to use that anymore. This is the EUK 134. And I've used every drop of this. I still love this, and I will definitely repurchase this probably quite soon, because I use either that, or I'm sure there'll be a resveratrol and ferulic acid in here somewhere. There we go, resveratrol and ferulic acid. You can see I've got the NIOD pumps on the top, which are really good. The EUK and the resveratrol and ferulic acid, I either use this one or this one underneath the SPF 30, because that seems to give me the hydration that I need. It just seems to stop this making my skin feel tight, and I just love the way that they always make my skin feel perfectly smooth. So I'm not using them specifically for the antioxidant properties, although there is that nice kind of, you know, if they work for that, then great. But they just feel lovely. They're a real pleasure to use, and so I love both of those. I don't get the warming effect that I used to from them, so I don't know whether I've just got used to that feeling and I don't notice it anymore. Next is the amino acids, the Ordinary amino acids plus B5, and again I've used every drop of this. This is another thing that I use underneath the Ordinary SPF to stop my skin feeling tight. This is really nice actually, and another thing that I would definitely repurchase because I enjoyed using it, and it was something I would reach for if I had, say I'd used lactic acid and I didn't know which serum I wanted to use, or I just wanted to use something to give my skin a boost of hydration. This is something that I could use, and I would prefer to use this amino acids and B5 than I would a hyaluronic acid, because this never balled up on my skin, but the hyaluronic acids always do, other than the NIOD one. That one didn't, but pretty much every other hyaluronic acid does. But this one never did, the amino acids and B5, but it always did make my skin feel hydrated, so I was always happy with that. I might actually go and reorder that along with my EUK and resveratrol and ferulic acid. The Garden of Wisdom has slipped in there for some reason. Whatever this is, it's full, so I didn't like it. It is, oh, it's Chia Seed Oil. Do you know what? It smells horrific. Look at that. That's that. Vitamin F. Tetracypalmitate. I'm going to look very glowy by the end of this video. Yeah, this smells of fish. It's horrible. Oh my goodness, that's so horrible. This is the Chia Seed Oil, and it just smells of fish to me. You know how we've all got different scents and whatnot, but this to me smells of fish. It didn't at first when I first used it, so I don't know whether, I don't imagine that it would be a terribly unstable oil, but maybe it is, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the reason, but I cannot put that on my face, and I didn't love it. I remember I reviewed it and I couldn't see anything that was unique about this oil, and I remember somebody left me a comment and said, you know, about it being hydrating, and I thought there's plenty of oils that offer those particular points that she made, you know. I still don't see anything particularly unique about the chia seed oil, and I'm not a fan of chia seeds either. I have tried, there's a woman called Danny that I follow that does some amazing recipes, and she'd done this chia seed pudding, and I made it and I was like, oh my goodness, it's like eating raw egg. It was just awful. So, you know, it's me, not you. Maybe you'll love this, but for me, that is not going near my face. I can't wait to get rid of that. This is the Superoxide Dismutase Saccharide Mist. This is such an unusual thing in my life, because every time I used it I was like, I must research this a bit more. I must research it a bit more. But every time I researched it, I was left confused. I couldn't really find anything. I couldn't find anything about using it topically that would suggest that I was going to get any benefit from using this. But I loved using it. And I neither could I find why I loved using it. You know, it didn't do anything specific. I can't say that it made my skin softer, or there was no resulting feeling from it. It just was nice to use. I'd be nervous buying another bottle, or saying buying another bottle. Actually, this one was sent to me. Everything else here I bought, but this was sent to me. Let me just look through and make sure that's the case. Yep, this is the only thing I was sent. I've sent this, everything else I bought. I can't see me buying a bottle though, because I'd be really nervous that I'd get one of the ones with a horrible smell, because a lot of people said they've got a really horrible fishy smell, and as you can see, I'm not good with fishy smells. Mine didn't have any scent at all, but it was just, you know, it had the perfect spray, the perfect amount of spray. It was really refreshing. It was just nice to use. But like I said, from what I researched, which I hadn't finished my research, but I just couldn't find anything that would suggest it did anything amazing. And I know a few of you asked me to do a video. There wasn't that much interest. So I don't know. I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm gonna keep it there and keep on looking at it until I decide what to do. And the final item, this is an interesting one as well. It's the NIOD Neck Elasticity Catalyst. And it's interesting because I was like, this was like a hero product to me when I first got it. I put it on my neck and overnight I felt like I could feel a difference. I felt like I could see a difference. But I did a specific before and after photos with this, if you remember. I'm pretty sure I've done a video on this. I'll try and link any specific, in fact I've probably done a video on every single one of these. That would be a lot of videos, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'll do what I can. I'm pretty sure I did before and after pictures and, you know, tested this out, and I didn't see any improvement in the pictures, but I felt like when I used this, it was really, really moisturising. And I also have tried using this on my eyelids. That's what I've more recently used this for. And I got this tube, even though it was just uber expensive. I've been looking at it for months and going, I really want it, I really want it. I did not want the jar because it's just too unhygienic to use and too difficult to use. Even if you got their spoon, then what would you do with a spoon, you know? So I wanted to buy this, but this was just crazy expensive. So anyway, I bought this. Did I get it off QVC or something? I remember I got some kind of special deal on it. And I've been using it on my eyelids and my neck, and it's too sticky and it doesn't do enough. You know, I've used nearly all the tube. I thought for that money, for what I paid for it, I'm gonna use as much as I can bear, but it just, every time I used it, my hair was sticking to me, and I thought I'm not getting enough benefit for the stickiness. Even if I put a moisturiser on top, I still feel like there's so much stickiness. You know, my eyes were starting to feel like, I just didn't like the feeling of it. And so it's no longer a hero product to me, which is a shame. I don't understand why a product can seem so amazing and then only, I mean, it's probably 2 years or so, but 2 years later, you know, the product hasn't changed, so why do I not feel the same about it? I know I'm getting a bit deep, but do you know what I mean? Like what has happened? Is it me being flimsy? Or like, was I taken in by the Deciem craze that was going on at the time? Is that why I loved it? Was I just wanting to love it? Or I don't know. I don't understand it. Is it some kind of psychology of the advertising of it at the time? Or I don't know. But it's not a repurchase for me. It's not something that I would repurchase. And I had wanted to get the hydration vaccine as well because I loved that. That was another product that for me was just like silk on my face. I'd put it on and it was just amazing. Like, it would sink in, but my skin would feel like baby skin. I didn't like the smell. I thought it smelled a bit like glue, but it would sink in and feel beautiful. But again, I don't want it in that stupid jar. So the only way to get it is in the uber expensive tube like this, you know. And now I'm wondering, I'd like to really buy it, but I don't want to spend, you know, £80, best part of £100 on something that I'm then going to go, oh, you know, it's not as good as I thought. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. That's everything for the Deciem Empties. Let me know what you're thinking of the Deciem Empties. The Deciem Empties? No, let me know what you're thinking of Deciem products nowadays, because they're obviously not as talked about, and I don't know what people's feelings are, because I know obviously there's been this tragedy, and I did put in my comments in the first video that went up talking about Deciem that I purposely didn't talk about what had happened because I feel that it would be inappropriate to do so, because I didn't know enough about it. I didn't know enough about him, about the situation. But I'd be interested just to know if, are you still buying the products? What do you think of the products? Are you still using them, or have you moved on to somewhere else, regardless of the reason behind it? So that's everything. I will list all of my makeup, etc. in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you again soon.